Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you today. My name is Halinka Van Minnen, and I am a certified body mind coach, as well as the creator of the Happy and Healthy Place. And I'm excited to be able to share with you my thoughts on navigating change in this month's issue of Body Mind Living. So, as you see from my article, I actually love change, which people usually laugh when I actually say that. Change to me is exciting. It brings a little bit of spice to life and the otherwise really mundane things of the every single day. A lot of times, change can be seen in changing my hairstyle, which is roughly every 6 months. And to tell you the truth, makes marketing for a business very challenging. It can look like moving cities sort of on the whim or changing aspects of my business. Change really to me is that spice of life that actually kind of comes in. And I start to see change as really a skill. Once you've changed once, you learn the steps and the skills required to change again. So even when I picked my university, when I did my very first degree in health science, I literally flipped a coin between two schools to be able to go to because my thoughts were, what if it didn't work? Oh well, I'll just change again. Now, even though that I love change, what ends up happening with loving change and sort of thriving on change is that I tend to run towards change. And what I have learned over the years is sometimes change for the sake of change is not always good for us. With that comes forcing change when the change and the opportunity isn't what is right for you at the moment. And let me tell you, I have experienced tons of heartache, bad opportunities, doing things the wrong way because of embracing change so much and running towards it, that what I have forgotten or acted without knowing is not listening to the basic principle that we teach in Body Mind, which is really listening to the wisdom of your body. So, what happens when we don't listen to our bodies and we kind of force change to happen? What happens when your body is screaming no, but your head is screaming yes? What does that look like? And vice versa. What happens when your head is going, no, thank you. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how to do that. But your body is opened up and excited and is screaming, yes, this is what we have to do. In body mind coaching, I really work with my clients to be able to teach them to tune in to the wisdom of our bodies. And one of the challenges is that the knowledge and how your body expresses itself a lot of times is really subtle. And until we relearn the act of listening to our bodies, sometimes we actually miss the cues. Now, let me give you a couple of examples. So, back in the day, before I really learned and lived this body mind language, I was a massage therapist living in Toronto, and I had an opportunity presented to myself to open a brick and mortar store. And now let me tell you, this was something that was on my bucket list. I had a list of things that I wanted to do as a massage therapist, and I was very, very fortunate to be able to check off all the things that I wanted to do as a therapist, except open my own clinic. So when a space came available within a boutique gym, and with the owner of that boutique gym, I did know from a few different events, I jumped at the opportunity to make this last dream come true. I had a lot of support. I had a partner at the time who had opened multiple businesses and has gone through with all the sort of the challenges and the nooks and crannies of opening a store. And he was so excited for me to be able to have this opportunity that my body said no to him, but it was all exciting. The owner of the gym also was so excited to have this opportunity. And every time I met with him, he was so excited, and he was a dreamer and a visionary. And everything what he was saying, my head was saying, yes, this is great. And my body was screaming no. Although my head said yes, it said, yes, this is what you wanted. It said, yes, this is a space that works. It said, yes, if you don't take this, there'll never be an opportunity like this again. I said, yes, you can't say no to this. Yet every time I talked about it, every time I had a meeting about this clinic, every time I walked into the space, I experienced what I now know is contraction. That rock in my stomach, that really heaviness feeling, right? That feeling of nausea and headaches. And I really just contributed all of that to stress, right? I was doing something I've never done before. I was doing something that required a lot of work, required me to do things that I had never done before. So I proceeded. And even though my body was screaming no, I listened to my head and I went forward with this. What I have learned is that when our body says no and we proceed anyways, there is always a consequence. Now, the consequence may be minor, right? Maybe it just doesn't work out for you, or the consequence may be major. Walking home from the grand opening of that clinic, I slipped and broke my ankle. As I arrived in the emergency room, I had flowers in one hand and I had champagne in the other, and the flowers went to the nurses and the champagne went to my surgeon. 2 surgeries later, being off for 15 weeks, it was a massage therapist's worst nightmare. In less than a year, I decided to close the clinic. And honestly, the decision to close the clinic, although my pride was hurt, my ego was bruised, my body said, yes, this is the right thing to do. This is a lesson in learning to trust your gut and trusting your instinct and listening to what you actually know is truth. Now, that was a pretty big consequence. And you can kind of say maybe it's just a coincidence. And yes, I do believe that. I do believe in divine intervention. I do believe that when we don't listen to what God has for us, He'll tell us. And from that instance and what I have seen come to fruition from that moment, I will tell you that I truly believe that was a God moment of me not listening to what He had in store for me pushing change. Now that happens, that's my example, when your body says no, but your head says yes. So let's go the opposite way. What happens when your head gives you a heck no, but your body is screaming yes? Fast forward a year later, after I opened up that clinic, I had an opportunity to really decide what I wanted for my life. My life had actually fallen apart and everything was wide open. And these were the times that I actually loved. Although there was this real hurt and this real angst that everything had fallen apart, it was also an opportunity for me to make anything I want happen, right? For someone who loves change, this was the time to be able to change if I wanted to change. So I was sitting in a bar and I was deciding whether or not I should stay living in Toronto, where I was at the time, or move to Vancouver in British Columbia, which was always a place that every time I went there, I felt like my soul lived in BC. Like every time I left, I was like, why am I leaving this place? And so, being the very logical person I am, I had a piece of paper, I had Toronto, Vancouver, and was making a pro-con list, right? Who hasn't made a pro-con list when they've decided if they want to change? As I'm making that pro-con list, there's this voice and this knowing and this feeling in my body that says, you're moving to Chatham. Now, Chatham is the city I grew up. It's in southwestern Ontario. It is a very small farming community. And since I had left Chatham, which had been 16 years at that time, I never spent more than 36 hours in Chatham visiting family. I had a 36-hour rule. I finished high school early to leave Chatham. I never had any interest in moving back. I didn't even stay long enough to really visit Chatham except to see my family. So when all of a sudden this feeling and this voice and then my body saying, I'm moving to Chatham, my response was, fuck no. But I couldn't shake that sensation. So Chatham goes on my pro-con list. We have Toronto, we have Vancouver, we have Chatham. At the end of my very, very logical reasoning, as I read my list, I only had cons written for Chatham. I didn't have a single pro. Yet after I read that list, I knew right then I was moving to Chatham. My body was screaming yes. It was open. I was ready for it. There was this real sense of peace feeling within my body. Yet my head was asking all the questions. What the heck? What are you going to do there? You don't know anyone in Chatham. You haven't spent any time there. What is that going to look like? They were all the unknowns. They were all the questions that we all have when we're navigating any sort of change, especially any big change that we're making in our lives. I decided to listen to my body. And in a very short period of time, I picked up my stuff, I found a place to live, and I moved to Chatham. And 6 years later, I can tell you it was the best decision I have ever made. There has been so many beautiful blessings since I've come back from home that I can't even imagine not being able to experience them, experience the personal growth that I've had, experience the family growth that I've had, experience the business opportunities that I've had. More opportunities in this small town than I ever had in a big city. Had I had listened to my head and all the unknowns, I wouldn't be here today. I would not be here today talking to you in this body-mind living community about navigating change. In body-mind coaching, this is the very first thing that I do with my clients, is to teach them the skill set to listen to their bodies, to learn to understand those subtle cues so that you can use your body as your compass to help you navigate anything. Change is exciting. And when you learn how to listen to your body to help you navigate change, you'll never be put off course. You'll always go in the right direction. I'm reminded that a mentor once told me that anything that is given to us from God is peaceful. And anything that's not given to us from God is fearful. And your body will feel that peace versus fear. Always. Honestly. Trustworthy. Versus your mind. Well, we can't always believe what our mind tells us. Having the skill set to learn how to bring both the knowledge from your body and the knowledge from your head together, that's when the magic happens. I'm so happy to be here with you as a part of the Body Mind Ambassadors as we go through the next few months and learning to navigate a few different topics. If you'd like to continue the conversation about navigating change, please join us in our Facebook community of Body Mind Living. We're all here and excited to learn what you took out of this. What has helped you? How do you navigate change? What has worked? What hasn't? Maybe it's a different question you have to ask yourself. Now, if you'd like to connect with me and you have any questions for myself, please reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Happy and Healthy Place. I'd love to connect with you. Thank you all for your time. I'm honored to be here. And I invite you today to explore and embrace the beauty of change. Until next time.
This is Body Mind Living with Laura Wick. Thanks for watching.